Alright, in this video here, I'm going to break down the differences between the largest online ad platforms in the world, Google and as well Meta being Facebook and Instagram, and why home improvement or service-based businesses should only be considering one of them moving into 2025. Now, first things first, we need to look at what both a Google ad looks like and as well Facebook ad. So let's move over to this screenshot here. And as you can see with its search terms RH Media, the first one that comes up, at least within the area that we target, is our website. Now, I've got a funny story here because back in 2018 when I started my business, I actually found quite weirdly that as I had my website set up and as I started to build out the social media content against RH Media, and understandably Google will start to rank and start to build out the profiles of said company, I found myself with, whenever I typed in RH Media, that a digital marketing agency, their ad came up in front of, just even the website, the second link below. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's that's pretty cool to see that someone sees us as competition. But more importantly, that was very smart on their behalf, because if they see their competition now starting to build, and again, back in 2018, it was probably wasn't the main thing out there, but there definitely were digital marketing agencies. If they saw any competition and that competition didn't have those search terms ranked, then they'll be like, yep, cool, I'll jump in there and take that from them. So as soon as I found out, I started to run Google ads and bid obviously high for these key search terms. Eventually they went away and left us with just RH Media for ourselves. But the best way to see, could be quite obvious, the best way to see whether or not that's an ad is obviously the word sponsored on top of the link here. So usually whenever you do any search terms using Google, first, second or third links are most often not sponsored. Now, I'll quickly show you an example down below here. And as you can see, sponsored, just simply typing in social media marketing agency, sponsored 1, sponsored 2, sponsored 3. And then, the next one is another link. But as you can see here, most often not, and I'm sure you guys are aware of that there is what Google ads look like. Now, also there are different types of Google ads which look like a displayed ad. Now, usually that happens, as an example, if you are, let's say, using YouTube ads. So if someone out there is looking at ideas on how to kitchen renovations, bathroom renovations, granny flats, home extensions, whatever it may be, that video there, and if they've got this enabled and you've got to meet certain prerequisites for being able to have Google Ads or AdSense set up on your videos, then halfway through the video or at the start or at the end of the video, that ad would pop up. So whilst Google has a very robust ad system, I'm also going to go through the pros and cons of running Google Ads for your business specifically. So that there is what a Google ad looks like. Now let's have a look and see what a Facebook ad looks like. Now mind the head there, but very similarly, whenever you see any of these Facebook or Instagram ads, they'll have the word sponsored at the top of it. Now, also, whenever you're looking at Facebook ads, more often than not, you'll see a call to action button at the bottom. Now, for our instance here, it is learn more. But also, you'll see ads as well that just are either boosted or are just used for simple brand awareness and brand building campaigns out there with no call to action. So, more often than not, you'll see this out there on the metaverse, and somewhat pun intended. Anyway, so let's have a look at what are the pros and what are the cons for both ad platforms. So going to Google Ads, we have the 3 pros here. First one is the high intent. Now, whenever anyone Google searches a particular product or service, their intent is quite high. Not only to purchase, but more, let's have that first conversation. So that's why Google Ads have been not only very effective for a lot of businesses, but they've also been very effective for a lot of businesses who started early. Second bit, multi-platform targeting, and I spoke about this earlier. Not only are search terms used within that first Google, jump over the Google, but then you can use that on other websites that use the Google ads or even YouTube, as I said beforehand. And then last but not least, there's the mature ad platform. These guys have been around for, let's just say, a very long time. And with that being said, because they've been around for a long time, that there's a heap of data that they've been able to accumulate and really build out their ad AI or ad algorithm specifically. So when I look at the cons of it, and I won't go into it as of yet, I'll explain to you as to why it would be probably not a good idea for you to use that in 2025. So let's quickly have a look at the Meta pros. And the pros here is that they are visually appealing. Now, most often than not, whenever you see a Facebook ad, or Instagram ad, they lead with creative. And if you've been conscious about, how Meta's been really pushing content in front of people, they've been really trying to figuring out how to best keep people on their platforms. Now, as opposed to Google, where you go in there, do the work, and then get out, more and more people are staying on these platforms. Again, because they're visually appealing, because they keep the interest of their target audience, or at least just their audience in general, these platforms, on the content that's there. Secondly, there is a lower cost per click aspect of it. So this also ties into the maturity of Google, and you'll see the cons down the track. But why Meta will be a lot more favorable, and it's because there is a lot more competition on Google as opposed to Meta. So hence the reason why there's a lower cost per click. And then last but not least, there is a long tail or long-term brand building aspect of it. So when I spoke about that visually appealing aspect, now if you've got a business and let's just say, for example, kitchen renovations or bathroom renovations, or even just full home extensions, granny flats. Now, most of the completed work that you guys do, not most, all of them, would be visually appealing, would be ideas or just thought-provoking, inspiration to people who are looking at that job and going, you know what, I wouldn't mind something very similar in my kitchen, or I wouldn't mind having my bathroom look very similar to that. So when it comes to brand building, when it comes to the long tail of it, if a business has been in front of me for 2-3 years, just showcasing work upon work upon work, then you can tell that these touch points are making such a deep impression that trust and credibility is built. So when I talk about long tail or long-term brand building, it is very effective on the platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So let's go down to the cons of Google Ads. And as we can see here, it is the opposite to the Meta. It is higher cost per click, and it's simply because it's a mature ad platform where they've had a hell of a lot of people who are playing on it and are continuously playing on it. Therefore, it's going to cost a lot more for you to, play, basically. So let me just step back quickly and go higher cost per click. That means for every click that occurs on that link is going to be a lot more premium, or it's going to just cost a lot more if it's a common phrase or common search term that equates to a higher return on investment. So as an example, kitchen renovations could start from 15,000. They go north of, say, 100,000, depending on what type of project it is. Therefore, Google knows that. Google understands the quantity, or at least the quality of search term it is. Therefore, it's going to price it accordingly. For anyone that wants to bid for that key term, they're going to have to bid quite high for it. Secondly, it limits trust building. So let's have a look at this here. Now, if I'm only showing up as 1, 2, 3 lines, maybe 4, let's just be 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of text. Number one, there's no visually appealing concept for me to get people to buy into RH Media. Secondly, there's only so much that I could actually use to try and get people across to our website. Now, it's different once they've clicked on, because then now they're on your website and learning a little bit more about you. But let's go down to here. Social media marketing agency. Now, I don't know about you, but I would be more inclined to look at something, or look at, maybe not my head, but just look at something visually appealing than a line of text. So that there is why we say it's a limiting trust building factor. And then last but not least, the higher barrier of entry. Like I said beforehand, it costs a lot more to play, because there's been a lot more people who are bidding for these key search terms. And as well, because it's been around for longer, it just means that, yes, the ad platform has probably a higher AI or higher algorithmic sense when it comes to these search terms. But again, if you haven't been playing around with it, and if you're only new to the game, it's the reason why I probably would avoid Google Ads, especially moving into 2025 for a business that maybe is only starting to consider using or running ads online. So that there is the cons. Now let's have a look at the cons of Meta as well. So as we can see here, first one is interruption based. Now what does that mean? So if you're scrolling through Facebook, and let's just say you have a smaller intent to have a kitchen renovation or a bathroom renovation, then because that ad comes up in front of it, there could be the potential of them being, frustrated or annoyed, because it's not perhaps part of their RAS or what's top of mind. So when it comes to interruption based content, that's one of the downfalls or the red flags when it comes to trying to run these ads. Now, granted, if you do have a right ad campaign, that mitigates it, but inevitably there'll always be one or two users who are quite, I guess, not ready for your ad. Secondly, there's potential complexity in scaling winning ad sets. Now, what I mean by that, now, there's a difference between boosting an ad or boosting a post, to become an ad, to actually running specifically targeted campaigns to get a return on investment or a return on ad spend. Now, with that, while it's all good and well to run these ads, there is perhaps a little bit more needed because there's a lot more creative, because there's a lot more, variables to be done to have these winning ad sets. It could cause a lot more headache than what it should someone come in and just try to run these ads. So again, complexity around scaling winning ads, but yeah, it's just something that happens. You've got to be in it to win it, so to speak. So you need to, understand that there is complexity apart or with that. And then lastly, it's just the customer support isn't there as of yet. Now, granted, we've had a number of our clients lose their access, and because we've been able to work part of the Facebook Partner Program, we're able to retain that or get that back. But just an average, business owner, mother or father trying to run these ads online, if, say, for example, you do lose your access, it's very hard to get that customer support to even go through processing that and getting them to analyze it. So at the moment, the customer support isn't there. And thus, if you are running ads or if you're getting yourself stuck within the business manager aspect of it, you'd be very hard to find support to help you out with that. All right. So now that we've understood and seen what Google and as well Meta ads look like, and also the pros and cons, I'm actually going to give you an insight as to what we do ourselves. So remember how I told you that we have the RH Media one here? Now, the reason being is because our primary focus, or you'd say, 80, maybe even 90% of our efforts are on Meta and as well their associated platforms. And sorry, what I mean by that, Instagram, you've also got WhatsApp as well with ads running to those platforms. And yeah, there are other ones out there, but they're just more, these are the primary ones that we work on. If the business is at a point where they're able to run Google ads, and let's just say 20% of their marketing is on Google, 80% on Facebook and Instagram, then you'd want to be able to capture the key terms for your business. So if anyone does search Gary's bathroom renovation, that you don't want a competitor to get in front of you on that. So that would be our very basic way of doing it, and that's what we do here. However, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram ads, we are very bullish on that. And again, it comes down to those key points that we said beforehand. Visually appealing, because you can have really cool creators get in front of people, not just my noggin here, but you can have simple, static ads. Actually, you know what? Better yet, let me just show you them. So let me close this down here. And here are the ads that we have running at the moment for ourselves. So practice what I preach. I can't be completely preaching running Google ads or running Facebook ads if I'm not doing it. As you can see here, we have a number of ads that are running so far. Let's have a look at what it looks like in the back end. And this is within Business Manager, but we have 12 ads within this ad set. Within this campaign. And as you can see, we have a whole heap of content going out. So there's the video ones. Let me go through the next ones here. Client testimonial. Now, I'll probably speak to you guys more about the strategy on what we've done here with these ones. But really, the ads that we've got running are continuously staying front and center of our ideal audience. If you can see all this coming through, just imagine when you start running ads and having very similar campaigns to us, by building that trust and credibility online, not only does it give you that first foot in the door, but it can allow you to completely dominate the market. So, yeah, have a look at all this. These are all of our ads on all of the platforms under the Meta umbrella. So that is that. But as I said, we still run Google ads as well. Not our biggest needle mover though. Now, when it comes to which one you should be running within 2025, there's simply only one that I would recommend, and that's Meta ads. And again, I hope I've sort of conveyed exactly why, because if you look at this ad here, compared to the number of ads that we're running on a continuous basis, 24/7, 7 days a week, Some companies just have these same ads running over and over again. And the way that you can figure out whether or not they're working well is if ads are generally running, you'd say maybe, I think it's even smaller now, but just say, for example, you've got ads running 3 to 6 months old. There's something in that. There's a reason why they're running it, and most often than not, they've probably found a winning ad set behind it, or it's converting exactly what they want to do. So it's quite obvious, but running meta ads is my recommendation when it comes to pushing your brand and pushing your business in 2025. So again, I hope this video is of value. I hope that you do get some understanding between the two platforms here. To be fair, if you run on either of them, you'd be a lot better than running none of them. And in saying that, the reason again why Meta is the one that we prefer is because there are so many more elements when it comes to not only building brand or sort of converting in the short term, but also in the long term as well. That long term or long tail brand building components is so much more effective than running a simple Google ad. Even though that the audience on there is a lot more higher intent, as I said, the long term value is what you want to be thinking of moving into 2025. So yep, that there is a video. Any questions, let me know. Love to hear your feedback in the comments section below. If there's any thoughts that you either agree with or disagree with, let me know. But we also do have a free community group as well. So if you're a business owner who is looking to probably get a little bit more insight, a little bit more context on not only where you guys are at the moment, but some ideas on how to push into 2025 now, there'll be a link down below. Jump in and introduce yourself. Myself and my team will be able to help out. No problems at all. But apart from that, if I don't see you in the school group, I again thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta.